क्या हाल है भाई लोग, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। और आज है हमारे साथ वेरी स्पेशल गेस्ट प्रीति फ्रॉम यूएस। इनका काफ़ी सारा एक्सपीरियंस है। इन्होंने कॉइनबेस के साथ काम किया है, इन्होंने बहुत सारे वीसीस के साथ काम किया है। सो इनसे जानेंगे कि क्रिप्टो कौन से स्टेज में है, इसका फ्यूचर क्या है। सो इट्स अमेजिंग टू हैव अ हाय प्रीति, वेलकम टू इंडिया।
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Okay, so do you speak Hindi or but do you understand?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I always wanted to ask you this.
Yeah, I used to watch Indian movies when I was young, so I have a little bit of understanding, but I wish I could speak it.
No problem. So, you have a fascinating career in crypto, and I would say that I would first of all, can you tell us like what got you into crypto? Because today you're pretty popular. Yours was the first speech at Genesis Block Conference, right? You were the one who sort of started this. So tell us like what got you into crypto, and yeah, tell us about your journey. And was it like 2014 or something?
Yeah, sure. So I got into crypto around 2015, and it took me probably 2 years to fully get into crypto. And the reason is because anyone who's coming new into crypto has to self-educate and convince themselves of why crypto is important. If you just listen to other people and do this because everyone's doing it, then it's useless, right?
You're lost somewhere.
Yeah, you have to really think about it yourself and read and figure this out and be like, okay, now I get it. So until you have that aha moment, you're not truly in crypto. So if you're doing it and you still don't get it, then you need to keep reading and figure this out and figure out whether you believe in crypto. And so for me, when I first got in, Balaji, I was working at A16Z, and Balaji was like, you should look into this Bitcoin thing, it's going to be big. And I did it, I didn't fully get it. And then I worked at Coinbase, and it started to make a lot more sense. But it wasn't until I left Coinbase that the aha moment happened to me. And that happened to me because of Ethereum. Because what I realized with Ethereum was that it allows you to basically write rules from scratch, and anyone can create a system from scratch. And that was my really big aha moment. I was like, wow, this is powerful. So that was kind of my foray. So if I had to give up one tip, it's don't just listen to what other people say about crypto. Try to come up with your own thesis of why you believe in crypto, because that's what will make you stay. If you're just doing it because other people are doing it, you're going to keep having doubts about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I agree with one of your points that you said that most people are into crypto, but they don't know why they are.
Yeah.
And I get that feeling when, not a lot, but I hear it from some people saying that when can I exit? When can I exit to fiat? I mean, if that's the idea, then you're not into crypto at all. Because when I buy Bitcoin, not to exit one day, not to sell it $1 million, I would never sell it. I would rather, I believe that this is a system for here to exist. So yeah, I read your blog on Ethereum, and so that is how I knew that you are also Ethereum fan.
Yeah.
Right. So now I know that you just spoke about Bitcoin, which is very powerful. You said that Bitcoin is all of the above, right? But I believe, and this is where I work at. So my focus is really making it simple to understand for the new ones, right? So let's say if there's somebody new in the family or in friends, and they ask what is Bitcoin, what would be your brief answer? How would you explain to them what is Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is the really tough one. And if I had to explain it to someone who's not technical or who doesn't really understand why this is important, I would just say that I would probably explain it as money. Because everyone understands money,
correct.
Right? Like money, no one can survive on this planet without money.
Yeah.
And you understand what you use money for. Money buys you, it feeds you, it gives you a home, and it gives you access. And so I would say basically Bitcoin is a new form of money that you can use to create your own village.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right now you use rupees to have your village economy.
Mm.
Now you can use Bitcoin to start your own village.
Right.
And power your village.
Yeah.
That's probably how I would explain it. And that starts to make sense to people because they're like, oh, so it's some kind of money that I can use to buy and sell goods and blah, 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 blah. And because if you start getting into the technology, people are lost.
Absolutely. I totally get it. I mean, yeah, tech is something that not everybody will understand. So for my answer would simply be that it's a digital money.
Yeah.
It's a digital cash. The reason I say cash is because when we transact through cash, there is no intermediary.
Yeah.
And with Bitcoin also, there's no intermediaries. And it's fascinating because a lot of people think that if it is crypto, if it is a currency, if it is money, it has to be done by the government or the central bank. And a lot of people, I'm sure, are waiting for the CBDCs rather to come out. That, crypto, okay, I will not use Bitcoin, I will use a crypto which is issued by a central bank.
Yeah.
So you have missed the point. The whole point with the Bitcoin is that nobody controls it, there's no intermediaries. So we spoke about Bitcoin, let's talk about Ethereum because this is something that you're a huge fan of. We saw in 2017 what happened with Ethereum. All of a sudden, it went up really high up in the price, which was about $1,400, but also we saw a very useful use case. The useful use case I say is because for the first time ever, it democratized the way a startup can raise funds. And also, it gave an opportunity to a common man who would never get an opportunity to invest in a startup otherwise.
Yeah.
Like Facebook, I would never get an opportunity. Yeah. With $1,000, I cannot invest in Facebook. It's only for a certain number of people, right? So it was a huge, I would say, innovations in terms of crowdfunding. And that is what, maybe that was the one reason that took the price up, or maybe some other reasons as well. But now we also hear, now ICO is sort of now stabilizing, so now people are smart enough where to buy, but the use case still remains, right? The powerful, which is powerful. Now we hear about DeFi, which is so important because if you have decentralized Bitcoin, we should also have decentralized banking. Then it's a match. If you have decentralized Bitcoin and then you have centralized banking, we will see the same thing which is happening today, which is manipulation. So I think DeFi is important, and also we see the gaming, which is the gaming industry being built. So for Ethereum, again, for us to see as an investor, because a lot of people watching this channel is little investors, what do you think would be the next boom or next big app for Ethereum?
That's a really tough question, and this is where I think I'm going to kind of step back a little bit and kind of talk about what you're saying, which is Bitcoin is important. Bitcoin is important. It's money, right? But then you also need DeFi and other ways you need to build other tools to function and create a functional financial system. That's where DeFi comes in. And so none of these ideas are bad. It's just that it's a matter of timing, in my opinion, and what the next big app will be and what the sequence of things that need to get built is the biggest unknown in crypto, in my opinion. It's like, okay, what order do these things need to happen? And because you can't really, what you're seeing in DeFi right now is it's still very fringe and weird because I don't know if it might be too early. Maybe we need a few more bridges to be built before DeFi can really take off. So what the next big app is, I think that's a billion-dollar question, right? And we won't know until entrepreneurs go in and experiment because, I don't think Mark Zuckerberg knew when he built Facebook that it was going to be the billion-dollar company, right? Yeah. So he just did something and it kind of happened. So it's a matter of entrepreneurs running experiments, a lot of them, and then one of those experiments will happen at the right time, the right place, and that will blow up, and then that's what will kind of create the movement. And so, us people who are into crypto, we can sit here and philosophize about what we think is a big application, but we won't know. Experimentation is the only way to know. And I think that's why sometimes I get a little bit, I like to philosophize
True. I mean, yeah, I mean, nobody knew that social media would be such a huge application for internet,
Yeah.
and it is today. So yeah, spoke about Bitcoin. We also spoke about Ethereum. I'm excited. I know that you are a fan of Cosmos. I think
Yeah.
you've written a blog on how Cosmos works.
Yeah. Huge fan.
So Cosmos for sure. What are the other projects
Yeah.
you are looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to. It's a good question. So, I'm looking forward to the day that I can actually use applications, crypto applications. And I don't fully see that yet. Like, there's a lot of cool people trying stuff. Like, Augur theoretically is a good idea. Like, it should exist, but it's so unusable. So I think I don't really have a favorite per se. I'm just waiting for the first truly usable consumer application. And some of the interesting people that I think are working on cool projects are Cosmos. Who else? Maybe you could start and list your favorites, and I'll kind of start sparking ideas in my head.
What do you think about Chainlink? Because that has been in huge demand.
Chainlink, I haven't looked into that much.
Okay.
Is it India based?
No.
No. Okay, it's in US.
The Matic is from India. We have the team from Matic also here
Yeah.
on the stage. That's awesome. So good. That's awesome. I mean, I see a lot of
And
people.
this is where like the whole experimentation comes in. Like, we just need entrepreneurs to keep experimenting, and the entrepreneurs need to be funded to run these experiments. And one of them, at the right time, right place, will blow up.
Yeah.
And I think the other big thing is that with experimentation, we will learn, right? Like, True Story was my experiment, and I learned so much about what needs to be built in crypto by running that experiment. And so experiments are not just about, creating the next $1 billion idea. A failed experiment is a learning experience. And we need all of these learning experiences to figure out what are the pieces that need to be built in crypto so that we can go and start building them.
Absolutely. So, you spoke on the stage about the regulations part, and we all know how, and the regulation is the key factor. You rightly said that today is not the scenario where I can just build my own economy with Bitcoin, because the traditional finance is so strong that I need the help. If I want to decide that I will live on crypto for a month, I cannot, because not everybody is going to accept crypto and things like that. So you spoke about, of course, US. The way I look at it, of course, a lot of people complain, and I think it's also about being grateful. Sometimes we forget our privileges, which is bad. So the way I look at US is, they Coinbase, Gemini, Backed, they're all coming from US. So, and on the other hand, India, I mean, the startups like WazirX, the project like Matic, they all have to register somewhere outside.
Oh, interesting.
So, which hurts me.
Yeah.
But, you spoke about something called as there is going to be resistance from the government that, okay, because you're taking away my power. I was thinking about the automation part, because automation is something the government have always liked, right? And the crypto, I look at it as an automation. So probably if an app had an economy of itself of rewarding users, then why not? And if that can be of any value, then of course you can exchange it for anything else which is also valid, right? So I would say sort of a digital barter. Instead of going to the old barter, now we have a digital barter. So do you not think that automation, if we put across this message across the government saying that, see, this is nothing but automation of the finance, and automation is better than bureaucracy. Do you think, like most governments have like this idea, do you think this is something that will be fascinating for the government if they look at this way, that okay, this is not something taking away power, but it's rather an automation, and I can still have my chunk in some or the other way, which is probably in consumption form. See, at the end of the day, people are really happy with your services, they don't mind paying. What do you think?
So I think this is what I was trying to get to in my talk, which is that we can't fight the government, so we have to educate them. And how do we get them to loosen up the regulations so that we can experiment? Whether automation will convince them, I'm not sure, because again, it comes back to, like, I think the biggest thing that we have to address when it comes to the government is how do you make them okay with the fact that they are losing their power.
Wow.
So, like, until we confront that, they're gonna continue to. We're just beating around the bush at that point. We can't just be like, oh, automation. They're still scared because they lose their power. So we have to confront them and sit in front of them and be like, it's too late for you to do anything. We already have this. So how can we work together so that you don't completely lose your power, but we also gain a little bit more power and we have a voice? And until we can have that conversation at the table, I think the government's going to keep fighting it. And I think what we're doing now is almost resisting that and not coming up to them and admitting to them that, like, yes, like, this means that you have to just,
I think you said this right. You know, the government thinks that they are giving away their power by not allowing these innovations. But actually what's happening is, you know, the fiat is not going to be power anymore. Because see, US Federal Reserve is already afraid. So tomorrow we may have a possibility where nobody wants US dollar. And so as much as I want to save the strength of the US dollar INR rupee, that's not valid in the global market. I can produce as much as I want the product that I have, the factory that I have, but nobody wants my product, the product is useless. So why not think otherwise and produce those products here?
So I think you have to, the way to convince the government is almost make them realize that this is inevitable. Whether you join us or what, you can keep fighting us, but you should just join us so that we can go on this movement together and build this together, build this future together. Because otherwise we're just going to be fighting, and neither side is going to get the outcome they want. If we fight the government, they're going to make regulations more stringent, and that'll make us harder for us to innovate. If the government fights us, then so they'll make the regulations more stringent, and if we don't want to work with the government, then we have to basically exit and go somewhere else to innovate. So for us to stay here and innovate, we have to both just come to terms with each other.
Absolutely. You know, I think a similar thing happened. India has already experienced it, by the way. One of the largest e-commerce from India, Flipkart, they had to register in Singapore. Because there was no permissions given by the regulators. See, when we look at India today, we look at it as a service sector in IT. We're not a product-based country. None of the products that we use are from India, but we could have easily built those products. And it's the same thing that's happening today. And so, just talking about the power,
And I want to say, like, I think, like, when we say the government, we like to, like, loop it as, like, one big thing, but the government is just people at the end of the day. And really, how this will start is we just need to find nodes in the government, basically people in the government that are more open-minded, more forward-thinking, and start there and convince those people, and slowly, hopefully, they'll convince other people in the organizations. So I think looping the whole government as one thing is also the wrong way to do it. We should really figure out who in the government wants to talk to us and have a conversation, start there, and kind of build our way over time. So it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to be a thing. So in the US, for example, there's a lady named Caitlin Long who is super, you know, like, she's super cool. She loves crypto, and she's in the regulatory realm, but she started her movement in Wisconsin. So where, you know, she can start small and she can convince the Wisconsin state to actually be crypto friendly. And then if Wisconsin does it, then maybe another smaller state will look at Wisconsin and be like, oh, Wisconsin did it, so maybe we should consider it. And it starts that way, right? Like, it starts, you're not going to go to New York and say, New York, let's be crypto friendly, because New York's too big, too powerful. So you have to start in like the smaller areas, convince them. Then over time, more and more people do it, and then at some point, the bigger states and countries will be like, oh, okay, so looks like if we don't hop on this bandwagon, we're going to fall behind.
Yeah. I think the similar thing that Federal Reserve, because they saw China coming out with CBDC now.
Yeah.
That's another huge topic. I see European Union, the central banks, Euro chain.
Yeah.
They've already announced. China, they've already announced. Sweden is working with Essential, e-krona. CBDCs, I mean, it's a similar thing that this country is doing it, CBDC, so I also have to do it now.
Yep.
You know, and I think this, I may be wrong on this, but I think this is where the really fun starts.
Yeah.
When all the countries have CBDC,
Yeah.
and they start censoring you, and then you know what's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because then you can't go back to cash because there's no cash. You only have digital, and they can seize your digital account.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about CBDCs?
The Chinese?
No, all the CBDCs that are coming out, the central bank digital currencies. And how would they have any impact on cryptos, recent plays?
That's a good question. I think at the minimum, what they will do is they will educate and bring awareness of crypto to the mainstream. Because if the central bank's doing it, then the mainstream has to pay attention. So that's the minimum. I think them building cryptocurrency only makes the power imbalance worse. I don't really think it's a great thing. Because now, like you said, they can censor you. It's digital. It's more powerful. Basically, we're giving them our tools, and then they're still controlling us because it's controlled by them.
Yeah.
So we kind of lose in that case. So, but like, I don't know how we stop them.
Of course. No, I would say let's try them. You know what happened with Venezuela petrodollar?
Yeah, I know.
So they gave an airdrop. Now people are selling it at half the price at local bitcoins for BTC.
Interesting.
Because nobody wants to exchange it. See, that is one thing that I like about crypto. Is really if I don't, it's the community power. If people don't want to believe in this, they won't believe.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing. Let them go ahead, try, and let people decide the market value. I mean, that is how Facebook works. This is how Instagram works.
Yeah.
We, the people who gave value to them. So
Exactly.
which is fascinating. Otherwise, there are so many softwares. I could be using anything.
Yeah. So we get to decide, so maybe the one way to think about the central bank issued currencies is it's another experiment.
Yeah.
Rather,
Absolutely.
it's an experiment, and maybe people won't believe it, and it'll fail. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see that. Listen, thank you so much, Preethi. It was really lovely talking to you. I was looking forward for this for so long. I know you're a fitness freak.
Yeah.
I saw one of your video. You said I can now do 5 pull-ups.
Yeah. I love fitness.
Yeah, I can do 10 pull-ups by the way. So thank you so much. It's been fascinating. Where can people follow your writings, your Twitter?
Yeah.
Would you like to share?
Sure. So I have a website, preethikasireddy.com, so anyone can find my writings and reach me there as a contact page. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter at @IM_Preethi, and I just launched a YouTube channel last week, so I'm going to be publishing a lot more YouTube content over the coming months as well. It's going to be kind of diverse set of content, so if you like my educational stuff, just follow me there.
I love the fact that you said now you're going to focus on education because, absolutely amazing. And somebody it's coming from somebody like you because who already work with startups, VCs. VCs are going crazy. Like nowadays, I see that all the VCs are algorithm, they're investing, here they're investing. So I'm sure that's fascinating. Thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to see you around, and probably YouTube is a great space, by the way. This is where my first learning happened on YouTube. So it's a great tool. Yeah, it's a great tool. Yeah. So thank you so much, and I'll see you around. I'll post those links in the description, guys. Go ahead, follow her, and thank you so much.
Thank
see you guys. Bye bye.